Yes. I was just able to get a room in the study room. Oh, it's 4:22, and now I have until 6:22. Yeah. And the library doesn't close until 8 o'clock. Now, as one of those litigants, yes, I had explained that my wife had been married 2 times before. Yes. So she did understand the process of a dissolution of marriage. Oh. Now I didn't, and I thought for sure there was this requirement to serve the individual. Yeah. Now it really does make it difficult when the person known as the litigant feels intimidated, isolated, and vulnerable. Now, litigants struggle with how to present their case to the court, including hearing or trial preparation, yeah, evidentiary matters, and courtroom procedures. Yes. Now, this, yes, is quite a few different hearings. Yes, where most all of them I did not get any actual notice or opportunity to be heard. Yes. And this, yes, was a warrant for my arrest, right, where you had falsified my identification, right, right, and you issued a bail for $500,100, and you said that I failed to appear for hearing. That's why you issued that. Pooch. The problem is, yes, that no one questioned me about where I was at on June 16th of 2017. Yeah. And when I finally got to court, yes, because I was transported across county lines, yes, I asked Judge Landis to read the protection order, oh, and see, yes, that the petitioner didn't sign it. Now, my public defender explained to the professional person from the state of Washington, yes, that she was given a chance to sign it. But as I understand it, you do have the obligation to require the individual known as the petitioner to appear in court, yes, so as to inform the court of any changes in the previous 2 years. Hmm. Now, sometimes litigants known as respondents, yes, defendants, avail themselves of attorney consultations for assistance. Yeah, it makes it difficult, Judge Rohrer, yes, to go to an attorney's office, yes, and say, well, I'm in a divorce and this is what was given to me, yes, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh. See, I didn't get any notice of the trial setting action. Yes, I didn't get a copy of the declaration of Jessica Lee Hodges. No. The proposed parenting plan. No. The child support worksheets. No. The motion and declaration for the temporary order. No. Did you have any proof that I had actually been served for any court hearings, Brent Basden? No. Well, it was my understanding, yes, that when arrested, that you expected me to respond to the petition for dissolution of marriage. Yeah. And since I'm the pro se litigant, yes, I gave you 50 pages of documentation, 5 written pages of explanation. Yes. And you decided to give my wife a default dissolution of marriage. Well, what I got from you, State of Washington, was a whole bunch of forms filled out from the Department of Social and Health Services. Yes. And a blurb about, well, I made all the decisions as the head of the household. Yes. I gave you 50 pages of documentation. Now, when I get summoned, yes, to have to appear in court for a dissolution of marriage, yes, the expectation was that I would respond, yeah, and then you would give me notice of additional court hearings, yes. But the next day, my wife motioned for default dissolutions of marriage. Yeah, you denied that. And after that, you said that you couldn't find me. Oh, um, let's see here. Yes. You scheduled a court hearing in September of 2012. Yes. Where I didn't get notice. No. Then you had another settlement conference setting hearing. Yes. A declaration of Heidi Budnick and a declaration of mailing. Yes. Now, when you served me and arrested me at the same moment, yeah. Why didn't you serve me at the same location? Now, the temporary order in the parenting plan temporary order in October of 2012? Yes. What was the excuse that the sheriff's department didn't serve me for all the court hearings? Now, everyone has thought that it's my responsibility to find out what you're doing. Yes. But it says here in Rule 4.30, 4.3, dealing with unrepresented persons. Yes. In dealing on behalf of a client with a person who is not represented by counsel, a lawyer should not state or imply that the lawyer is disinterested. When the lawyer knows or reasonably should know that the unrepresented person misunderstands the lawyer's role in the matter, the lawyer shall make reasonable efforts to correct the misunderstanding. The lawyer shall not give legal advice to an unrepresented person other than the advice to secure counsel. If the lawyer knows or reasonably should know that the interests of such a person are or have a reasonable possibility of being in conflict with the interests of the client. Yes. Now, of the times that I was arrested, Squim Washington, I noticed Miss Cochran, yes, Mr. Cowgill, yes, and Mr. Nichols, yes. Now, let's see. The one time that we did have a court hearing and my wife did not appear in court, she was too busy to appear, Judge. Exactly how much legal representation did she receive from Clallam County? Yes. And when she filled out all these forms, yes, petition for protection on July 8th. Allegation of violating it when I was on trial. Yes. Then she re-petitioned the court, and you reissued it by minute order, Brent. Pooch. How many attorneys in this county have ever talked to Heidi Lee Budnick? Inclusive of Miss Cochran, Mr. Cowgill, yes, and the prosecuting attorney's office. How many of them you are giving her free advice? Well, you're trying to help the victimed individual, yes, that had alleged, yes, domestic violence, assault, and child abuse while we were on Guam. Now, I think it's a conflict of interest, Judge. Yes, that the prosecuting attorney's office found themselves in a personal relationship with my wife. See, it's somewhat interesting that many judges impose the same requirements for self-represented litigants, yes, in the courtroom as on an attorney. It's supported by the law in regards to the marriage of Williams. Yeah. A self-represented wife proceeded to trial on the issue of spousal maintenance and payment of community debts. Yes, similar to my own wife. Her claims were rejected by the trial court. Evidence was submitted showing that the wife had been supplied with relevant law about spousal maintenance, community property, and debts by husband's counsel. Yes. Now, as many of you that thought that I didn't have the right to counsel, I thought that you had conspired against me, Northwest Justice Project. Yes, because I did go to the Northwest Justice Project and I did want to have some free legal representation. Yes, so that I could do what I could do right now. Now, let's say you're one of the 500 attorneys that I emailed today. It looks to me that the county has intentionally conspired against me having counsel. Did you do that, Sheriff? Because I didn't get any emails today. Yes. And I sent 3,000 emails today, going back and wanting to make sure, yes, that I covered all my bases. Now, wife admitted that she lacked a legal basis for her claims, but stated she went to trial based on what she personally felt was fair, as opposed to the law. Now, we did talk about child support, how a homeless man, yes, is only obligated to pay $50 a child in child support, yes, and you awarded her $1,600 a month because she thought it was fair. Now, when we look at the child support orders, I'm wanting to sue right now for a child support order that did not take into consideration my personal circumstances at the time of living at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Now, I know when she first met me, I was making $20,000 a month, and she thought she had quite a catch at that time. But I'm wanting to sue today because she thought it was fair as opposed to the law. Yes. Now, I did give you documented examples of how to calculate child support. Yes. And for some reason, Pooch, this county right now, Pooch, has not done.